Hey, what's happening? Happy Wednesday to everybody. It's Sterile here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I'm going to talk about Donald Trump and MAGA fans in this video. And I'm kind of hesitant to do that because I think of it this way. There's the majority of people that watch my video will probably feel like I do. They're probably liberal leaning, left leaning, and are not Trump fans. And with everything that's coming up, and Trump being certified a couple days ago, 2 days ago, and him taking office on the 20th in 2 weeks, it feels to me it's my heart starts racing every morning. I wake up early to go through the news feeds to find a story to do for this video. And inevitably, I end up going on X to see what those MAGA fans are talking about. Usually that's when it starts. I start getting this feeling in my chest, like a tightening, anxiety, adrenaline flowing. It's seriously, I swear to God, every morning. And it's a bad feeling. And, sometimes it feels like I'm in a horror movie. And I wonder, I can't relate to the majority of people around me that seem to be Trump fans, the rest of the country. It feels like a horror movie sometimes. Like, why can't these people see what I see? Why aren't these people terrified? Why are these people? It really feels like a horror movie. And I'm hesitant to talk about it sometimes because at this point it really feels like I'm not going to wake up. Like I'm in a nightmare and I'm not going to wake up. And it's a scary freaking feeling. Okay, but today I'm going to talk about some of the stories. Now, Donald Trump. Okay, when I first heard him talking about Greenland, the Panama Canal, the Gulf of Mexico, making Canada the 51st state, I got enraged. I got scared, really. I've said this before. This is, and I believe it's the truth. People that are angry and enraged, that's just a form of fear. It really is. It's a fear of the unknown, the fear of not fitting in, it's a fear, and you get angry. It's an angry. Anger is the result of fear, and I'm scared. And what I see with Donald Trump is I wonder why other people can't see this. It reminds me of the 1930s and 40s Germany, where the Nazi Germany started taking over countries around them: Poland, Lithuania, Croatia, Serbia, and it reminds me of Nazi Germany. But lately, the more I think about it, as it gets closer to Donald Trump taking office in a couple of weeks, I'm starting to wonder if I don't think Donald Trump is all that smart. I really don't. I think he's a megalomaniac, narcissistic, arrogant, blowhard. I can't even say the rest. But I start thinking maybe he realizes that his campaign promises, like of trying to lower the gas and the economy and all the stuff he promised about, deporting millions of people, and how that's going to, the end result of that will probably be bad for America and tariffs, and how that'll be, I think some of it's starting to occur to him. So he starts coming up with this crazy stuff, this stuff that he thinks he can kind of distract the country with, like with Greenland. This whole thing with Greenland now. So there's links down below to everything I'm going to talk about today. Now, Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk actually landed in Greenland. They flew out there. To all appearances, it looks like they're going to see if his father wants the country or not. Like, they're going to take over the country. They're going to scout out the country ahead of Donald Trump taking office. And the president or the head chancellor or whatever it is in Greenland has said over and over again that the country is not for sale. I think Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump Jr. actually found a couple people with MAGA hats, and they posed. You see, look in the article down below. It's a TMZ article, and they said that they were greeted by people that love America and love MAGA, and how Greenland wants to be MAGA. And then Donald Trump actually said this. He said that the United States will cherish and protect Greenland from a very vicious world, and that embarrasses me. That embarrasses, you hear the rest of the world is looking at America, and they read in the paper, they saw in the news that the majority of Americans now are for this guy. that's talking about taking over countries. And Donald Trump actually said that he considered military force to take over Greenland, to take over the Panama Canal, and now he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And part of me thinks that this is just a distraction because he realizes that he's not going to be able to do anything about the prices of the inflation, the gas, and the eggs. And it's going to be a whole mess trying to deport millions of people. That's going to cost billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars. And then it's going to cost the country because I think people now inside America are realizing that a lot of their help is going to get deported and they're going to, they're going to be without help. I think they realize how much, they have to admit at this point that how much immigrants really commit to actually benefit America. Anyway, I can't make my mind up if he's trying to distract America from what his campaign promises of inflation, or if he's really insane, if he's really like, he's acting like Putin, taking over like Putin took over the Ukraine. And now he's, Trump is like following in his footsteps, in the footsteps of Adolf Hitler, and taking over countries and talking about military force to do it. And the rest of America looks like they're actually going to go along with it. I've never seen one MAGA fan not just love anything Donald Trump says. And that's what scares me the most. This almost 80-year-old megalomaniac, narcissistic, arrogant blowhard could say anything in the world, and the majority of freaking Americans will agree with him. Like I said, it feels like I'm living in a freaking horror movie, like I'm in a nightmare and I can't wake up. Okay, this will cheer you up. This is kind of funny. I believe these three people, it's a video, I'll put this right on top down below. It's a video of three people, and I believe that they're coming up from the south, maybe from Virginia. And as you know, if you've watched the news lately, there's a big storm that came across the country. It did not hit Connecticut. I have to kind of laugh because here in Connecticut, we're used to getting feet of snow. I mean, on average winter, we get a good 7-8 feet, good 7-8 feet of snow. We've got, I remember not too, probably in the last 10 years, we got 36 inches of snow in 2 days. So when I see these videos of, they're talking about, we almost got 10 inches and the roads are closed and, the Washington, D.C. is closed and, it's like, they're losing their minds over like 10 inches of snow. It's kind of funny, when you look at it, when people up here in the Northeast and where we actually get a real amount of snow, see these people trying to cope, but we cope with pretty much every year. It's kind of amusing. But these guys, okay, so these three people, like I said, the video will be right down below. And they're MAGA fans. And it looks like they're headed to the January 6th certification of the election in Washington, D.C. And the guy's talking about how God has cleared a path for us down the highway. And you see I believe it's a live stream. And it's a guy driving with a beard, a grayish salt and pepper beard, and a little dwarf woman in the passenger seat, and another woman doing MAGA, the MAGA movement. It's like M-A. So there's this song on the radio, and they're singing along with it. And supposedly it's like YMCA, except it's MAGA. I've never heard this song. Connecticut, where I'm from here, is basically a liberal blue state. So, they're here. There's a lot of Trump people here, but it's just a little bit more blue than red at this point. Thank God. I will never, ever live in a red state, and I will never set foot in the state of Texas or Florida ever again. But that's another story. So anyway, they're driving down the highway, and they're talking about, this guy's talking about how he's already got his bullhorn, and he's already got his flag, and he in his mind, he's already at Washington, D.C. at the certification, and that God has cleared the road. And you see down the road, it's a snowy, icy road. And he's just cruising along, singing to M-A-G-A, and the lady in the back's doing M-A-G-A. That was pretty good. And the car starts fishtailing. Okay, I learned when I was 16 years old. When I was 15 years old, I learned how to drive in snow and ice. So I usually know you steer into the skid, and this guy just screws it all up and overcompensates. and bam, he hits the wall and hits the highway. And the lady in the back goes, "We're done for, we're done for." And then the guy driving goes, "No, no, we're not." And he throws it in gear. And you can hear the metal rubbing against the tire. And then he goes, "Oh, yeah, we're done for." So that's I find that very amusing on a couple of different levels. Being from a state that gets a lot of actual snow, and we actually know how to drive in snow here, and watching it from that perspective. And these MAGA enthusiasts, from that perspective, seeing them crash into walls, kind of amusing. Okay, one more thing I want to talk about. Hulk Hogan. Now, he's a infamous MAGA Donald Trump supporter. Not only that, I didn't realize this. I think it was back in 2007. He was talking to his daughter, who was dating a black man, and he was caught. The phone call was recorded, and he said the N-word supposedly numerous times. So I didn't know about that about Hulk Hogan. So at Netflix Raw, just a couple days ago, Hulk Hogan, he's 71 years old, and he looks like he's getting a little old. And he comes out, and the whole California Coliseum just boos him, and he's going, "Come on, Hulkamaniacs," and you just hear boo, boo, and he's wearing a shirt that says "Real American Beer." I don't know if that's actually if that's maybe his brand of beer. I've never heard of Real American Beer. I haven't drank alcohol in over 18 years, so I really don't know if there is a Real American Beer or not. But he got booed viciously. I'll also have a link down below where I had to see how Twitter responded to this, of course. And Twitter talked about how California is all liberals anyway, and they should just shut up and watch wrestling. And all these links, everything I'm talking about, the links will be right down below. And I'll put the most pertinent ones on top with the MAGA car crash and the MAGA person talking about Hulk Hogan. I'll put those right on top. Anyway, it feels like I'm in a never waking nightmare over the next 2 weeks. I'm hoping that none of his, I think in the back of my mind, I think the reality of it is I really don't see anything he does affecting me. I make my own money. I don't see his policies directly affecting me, but it still terrifies me. There's so many people it will just back up anything he says. This lunatic. It really feels like a nightmare. Links are down below. I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Wednesday.